TIFU, I tore my esophagus. You all enjoyed yesterday so much, I thought I'd do another. This happened at the start of COVID, but to set the scene, we have to go back further. I have been mildly allergic to a number of things my whole life. We didn't figure it out until I was in my early 30s. So for over 30 years, I would frequently choke on food. My lower esophagus was constantly inflamed. So choking may be the wrong term, because I could usually breathe, but food would get stuck, and it hurt to breathe. I had terrible migraines, joint pain, exhaustion, a messed up gut, and was more or less in a mild state of anaphylaxis, from what I understand. After multiple visits to neurologists, orthopedic specialists, ENTs, and other specialists, I finally got an endoscopy scheduled to see about stretching my esophagus. The doctor came back that it wasn't so much that my esophagus was small, it was inflamed. He recommended I see an allergist to get myself sorted. The allergist did a blood draw and was floored that I hit so markers on my results. She had me tested again to be sure. Basically, dogs, cats, and shellfish were the only things they tested for that I didn't have at least a small reaction to. The two biggest ones were gluten and milk. Doctor says to try cutting out those two and see how I feel. I feel like I'm never going to enjoy food again is how I feel. Fast forward a few short months and I've gotten used to the new diet. I had to cut a few other things, but nothing I can't live without. I'm feeling better, never choking, migraines drop from 2 to 3 a week to 1 every month or so, and joint pain drops to what I understand is normal for a middle-aged man who's really done some damage to his body in the past. Now for the F up. The doctor did warn me that cutting out certain foods, and my body getting used to not having to fight them, may cause issues if I accidentally ingest them later, and it happened. I ate something I shouldn't have. I don't even know what it was. It definitely wasn't on purpose. My throat starts to swell. It begins to hurt to breathe. I wheeze out for my wife to grab the Benadryl. I take a few and try to push them down with water from the bathroom sink. Too much water. Rejected. They come back up. Water comes out of my mouth and nose. I take 2 more and try to steady myself with a painful, shaky breath. I take a much smaller sip of water and try to get them down. They won't go. I keep swallowing. They won't go. I try a 3rd time. Nothing. F this, I try to make them come up. They won't come up either. My wife, in full panic, standing in the bathroom door, has the 9 and the 1 pressed on the phone, begging me to give her the go-ahead. I shake my head no. I can still more or less breathe. I hit my knees by the toilet and heave, trying to get the pills to move. They move. But as they do, I feel warm fluid and pain coming with them. Blood. I cough. More blood. Not a lot, but enough for concern. My wife helps me to the car. We are about 15 minutes from the closest ER. It's faster to drive me there than call an ambulance to come get me and drive back. They admit me a V something to me that takes the swelling down quickly. Then non-emergency ambulance me to the larger hospital an hour away. That has specialists that can help me if things get complicated. I've got 2 lacerations in my esophagus. There's not a lot they can do other than put me on an IV, keep an eye out for infection, and let them heal naturally. I'm not allowed to eat or drink for a week, just IV. My wife is not permitted to see me due to COVID restrictions. The longest a week of my life. 10/10 do not recommend. Not to mention we had a 3-month-old at the time. Tell you what, that first bite of Jell-O never tasted so good. So what do you guys want to hear about next? I've got concussion snowboarding, concussion 4-wheeling, near drowning, near vasectomy, the prequel. It's odd that it happened twice. My dog's vasectomy, the sequel. I know it's becoming a theme, but it's a heck of a story. Let my loving wife pick. TLDR, I had an allergic reaction to something and tried to force some pills down my swelling throat. It tore. Spent a week alone in the hospital, unable to eat or drink.